this one is, I had a question about when to use radians on your calculator and when to use degrees. I think most of the teachers have told you, or they may have told you, as I said, with two calculators, calculators, mine went blank. Your normal calculator, you can take two into the exam. The normal calculator you set to degrees, and your graphics one set to radians. But be very careful that you really make sure you're in the right one. Now, an example was like 10 of 1.3. Now, because if it was 10 of, say, 70, we know that that's degrees. At 1.3, that's a very small degrees, and it normally is in radians, and they sometimes put that little sign there. Now, you can put your calculator into radians, but you can do it a few ways. If you put your calculator into radians, you just put in that to the calculator and you get 3.60210. And that's fine. But what happens if you don't really want to change your calculator because you might forget to put it in? You can actually change the radians to degrees. Now, remembering that pi is 180, so pi over 180 or 180 over pi just equals 1. So you're not doing anything to any of them. It's like your fractions. So keeping that in mind, let's change 1.3 into degrees. And what you can do with that is it's easy. You just go, well, I want to get rid of the radians. And if you have a look, is it going to be pi over 180 or 180 over pi? I always say if you're changing to degrees, the degrees goes to the top. So you put 180 over pi. And you don't get brave unless you can cancel the pi out. And you'll get 74.484,51337. And that's the other housekeeping rule. You must always write out the full answer. Do not ever, ever round off until they're right at the end. Doing all your working out through, you must write it all down. That's why I like to leave it in radians with pi sometimes. But you have to write that all down. Otherwise, you'll get a slightly different answer and you could get it wrong. So if that's the degrees, you then just write 10 and you calculate. If you work that out, you just put 10 of the answer and you get 3.6020 when the calculator is in degrees. So, and also with radians and degrees, it's a little cheat sheet, not a cheat sheet, but a little thing that I do when you're looking at, especially the unit circle, 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. Put in your radians as well, always, because that way you'll never forget. And then you can go round and round again. So when I do it, sometimes I do it in degrees and switch it to radians, or put it in radians, but just keep on remembering to check your calculator. So that's radians or degrees.